And he speaks, he says I a lot, and he refers to himself. Read a piece just yesterday about second inaugural addresses and how they tend to be focused on the president and on what he plans for the future. You just kind of take this in for a moment, everybody. Hear the cheers. Starting to go by right behind us. But you know, it's an interesting question in terms of the tone that he's going to take today. Right? He has an opportunity here to be the leader that some have said he has not always been in the first term.
I think that's right, Martha, and I think, you know, most presidents, especially in an initial first inaugural, will do what they can to say that, you know, regardless, onto Pennsylvania Avenue again as they pass the Treasury Department. You can go back in American history, Martha, a long time, until back to the days when before there was real photography and they had those daguerreotypes, and you could see the same streets and even some of those same buildings were in place, and that route was the one used then. Remarkable. And it's historic.
It truly is.
Every one of them.
I thought that last night in the dark walking around down here, Britt. Some of these buildings have seen so much over the course of this history, and when you think about what it means to be President of the United States of America, the weight that is on this man's shoulders, a lot of tension in the country and around the world right now that he will have to deal with. It's a big job. You know, today perhaps is fun, and it's a moment of pomp and circumstance, but this job weighs heavily on everybody who takes it on. And Britain, watch it unfold.
We do, and what I think is notable about second terms, they're using, as I see, a familiar route here as they go, is that very often second terms are characterized by things that nobody thought about or thought of as the president, whoever he is, was making his inaugural address. You think about George W. Bush, and his second inaugural was devoted to the Freedom Agenda, which was his approach to the war on terror and a worldwide strategy for trying to promote an atmosphere in which terrorism would not take root. But you look at what happened in his second term. Obviously, we had the Iraq War, which is already underway, and all the difficulties, and ultimately the surge and all that. But we also had things like Hurricane Katrina, which dealt such a blow to his administration politically. Obviously, the troubles that would beset Bill Clinton in his second term, principally the Monica Lewinsky scandal, which so damaged his personal favorability, if not his job approval. So we can look at things we're obviously going to be focused on, but what we don't know is that sometimes what turns out to be most critical in a second term. And it really is an example of you never know.
Yeah, who knows what the future holds for this president. Rick, thank you so much.
That last point is an excellent one, too, because we've spent a lot of time the last couple of hours talking about, the national challenge here at home, whether it's deficit and debt spending, whether it's the unemployment rate, trying to find a firmer footing for the economy. But there is no telling what can happen overseas. And based on what we're watching just in Northern Africa in the last 24 months, it is remarkable how that has really pushed itself into the headlines of America today. This is a shot I don't think we've seen before. I was on the mall 4 years ago, and I did not have a monitor, frankly, but a rolling shot of Cadillac One making its way to the Capitol building. Did we have that 4 years ago?
I don't believe we did. It's a remarkable shot, and we saw it roll right by here. You can see the cameras that are set up to get exactly this moment. And boy, the president is well protected. When you look at what's going on in the streets around here, and that incredible vehicle, which is basically a tank as it rolls through. It's an elegant-looking tank, but that's what it is. And just a momentous occasion, really, for all Americans, regardless of how you voted in the last election or how you feel about this president. It is a moment to be in awe, really, of this country.
We are about 1 hour away at 11:55 a.m. Eastern Time. Officially, that's the moment when the swearing in is official. This will be only the second president in history who has been sworn in 4 times. FDR was the first until Barack Obama, and you wonder, how could that happen? Well, 4 years ago, Chief Justice John Roberts screwed it up. And to uphold the Constitution, he made a second trip.
We all know the perils of that living, but this time around he has the paper in front of him, we're told.
And so they did it yesterday because of the Constitution on the 20th of January, but the festivities are reserved today, which is also Martin Luther King Day. The irony that Chief Roberts will administer the oath yet again today, it was the critical vote on the key piece of legislation on the health care law that was passed in 2010.
That is it for us. We will have continuing coverage of all of today's events, of course, in the inauguration with Brett Baer and Megan Kelly starting right now.
And our entire crew here in Washington, D.C. It'll be a day of history, and we invite you to continue with us here on Fox.